Alright, this should be the last broadcast I make for today. I'm going to be quick about this one because I have to make sure that the others are set to a playlist. But you've probably, hopefully, already seen my fob and Garrison classifications. So yeah. Let me double check, make sure all these are set to a playlist quickly. Alright, all of those have just been set. I'm sorry about that for a minute. These are meant to be a short. So yeah. But given that we are currently meant to go with classifications of, per se, you've already watched the fob and Garrison videos, you probably already know exactly what this is kind of going to be based around. Again, this is going to be our fob based, but not exactly. We're going under classifications for your, per se, your pilots this time. Your pilots, obviously, what I'm doing right now is getting the outfits for what your pilot should wear. Is the pilot's uniform, as it should be. Where it's the all blue, slash gray, depending on your faction. I believe gray if you're American, and blue if you're Russian or Chinese, I think it is. This outfit is the outfit you want to wear for your pilots. But what we're going to deal with is the Viper fob first, Little Bird fob, and then the Transfer fob, okay? Starting with the Viper because it's the medium, or the middle, per se. The reason I'm starting with this one is because during the Outpost, or Garrison slash, and I believe the fob video, I think it was actually the fob video, I mentioned it, is if you do actually have a chopper on the roof, what you want to do is have a radio man to contact to him, or have any choppers in the nearby area. Now, with the Viper here, you're going to have 2 pilots at base, which means that there will technically be a total of about 10 people, only 2 of which are pilots, which means that they are not combat ready, which the pilot's loadout should just be a singular M9. This means that these guys should not be on the front line. Obviously, you want them in a chopper, but per se, we're in a scenario where that chopper just got shot down in the base. These pilots are stranded here and kind of screwed. Let's be honest. Because they only have 9 mils, while the rest of the troops downstairs, well, have M16s, M249 Bravos, and M2 carbines. Well, these guys only have 9 mils. What these 2 soldiers are probably going to be doing, they will join the front, but they will be acting as a radio man. Per se, remember when I said the fob video, when you should have one of your engineers, or anti-tank soldiers, or something over here, or as a radio man. These guys will become your radio man. The other pilot will be the protection pilot, or the protector. Per se, when your squad mates dies, he is more than justified to take up his kit. But remember this, these pilots should not have such things as SMOs in their category. They should be engineers, but only use the repair tool and M9. If they do pull out their M4, it is fine, but they immediately need to pull out their M9 in the process. So yeah, you don't have to follow for my classifications, but that's fine. If you want to make it easier so then this does not happen as often, they could just hold out the M2 Bowie knife, just in case. But I would prefer most people to use the M9 in the first place, given that's their better chance against, per se, an M4 if they are not meant to use those weapons, per se. Because at least then they stand a chance, compared to maybe a knife, or they, per se, at this walls here, need to wait for a soldier to come through there just to stab him, which, if that soldier's looking in his direction, that he is dead, probably. But yeah. as you can per se tell from this spot, this is meant to be a radio. Per se, these pilots are meant to be here. Again, we're still going for that one scenario. If they are still here, that other pilot will be right about here protecting him, just in case. He dies, there goes the radio man. He'll be on the radio for that time being. Then per se, let's go with the scenario that we probably should go with. We're still going to use the Viper for this scenario. Oh, god dang it. Hold on. Dang it, I kind of now feel like an idiot, but still say that we're using the Viper for this scenario. What we are likely going to do is, again, per se, that chopper was not shot down while at base. That chopper is going to be there still. What's necessarily going to happen is, per se, the base is attacked. One of those soldiers are going to stay as a radio man. Again, because they need to keep in contact with this Viper. Because this would be a two-man Viper, obviously the pilot would still be here, but he would not be actually doing most of the work. He would just be hovering over the base itself, near the front area or wherever his attack is going on. Alright, if it's only infantry, that is. Okay, because then the main lower gunner would be the case. We're taking into account that this is an attack without stingers or rocket launchers of any sorts. Because again, let's assume that these soldiers only knew that they had no tanks on base of any sort. That's fine, because that works out. But, let's per se, again, this chopper would start flying around having evasive maneuvers to shoot at these with his Hydras. Don't take me as an example, I'm not doing good flying for this. He would obviously attack them and sort of around probably. But still, that's not his goal. His goal is to have his main his gunner be the main person. Alright, on to the little bird, the quite literal middle, because that one's meant for attack. This little bird here is meant to still, let's say, he's going to be landed at the chopper. We're taking into account it was the original scenario, per se, he got attacked, chopper was shot down. But in this scenario, the chopper, if it is shot down, there would only be one pilot. Again, no one would be protecting this radio man. That's fine, given most of the other people would already be protecting him. The second pilot was only there just in case. This one is fine to have two of them. Let me mention that. It is fine to have one and two pilots still. But that is not the purpose. The purpose is to have either this chopper be a quick evac for medical purposes, or to be a resupply chopper. Because again, put ammo or health there, put ammo or health here. That's fine. But again, these people should be using the M9. If it does have a secondary pilot, that's fine. That is his purpose. This chopper, on the other hand, also should be used for scouting. Per se, soldiers are getting shot over an area that needs to be controlled. Let's use the airfield as an example. That secondary pilot would be spotting. The primary pilot would just be focusing on flying. Right? Because then the pilot does not need to focus. The secondary pilot is just per se, I am currently acting as secondary pilot about now. He is able to spot enemies around him. It's not the pilot's job. And then per se, the base that he is at is getting attacked. He is there to be on standby for evac or be around it. But he is allowed to be the attacker to the enemies. He's allowed to attack them. Perfectly fine. And again, when I did say that per se the chopper is getting destroyed, that is accounting for mortar bombardment. This building's literally meant to prevent against mortars. So yeah. Again, that's that scenario over. He's meant to be there for medevac, transport, so on and so forth. On to the transport chopper. This is technically the only chopper here that's only going to have one pilot if that chopper is destroyed. Unlike the other two that have potential for two of them, this one will only have one. So again, this one has two scenarios for it. Again, this would likely be used to unload troops. So first off, this one has multiple different scenarios. The other one did have a few, but this one's a lot better with those. Per se, that we're in an airbase a bit far away, alright? and we heard about the attack over at Fob Alpha. We'll get 4 soldiers to hop on in, a battle fire team, and quickly go there. We'll not use the guns because that's not the purpose here. The purpose is to go over to Fob Alpha and land. That was the goal. So what I'm going to do is quickly go to Fob Alpha and land. Alright, landed. This chopper pilot's not meant to be here for long, but he's meant to be to make sure all the troops are unloaded. Again, as I did mention, this should be the only one with 1 guy. This one does actually also still have the potential for a secondary pilot to be shot down in the same case. A gunner in this one. So yeah, in this case, let's say he heard about the attack, no one else is there that can actually go help. Anybody that's Garrison, that is. There's, again, still, there's Garrison A, which they are meant to be there. They are not meant to move out of there or for any attack. And then there's reinforcement garrisons that are meant to be there to go reinforce an objective like Fob Alpha, per se, that's been attacked. Say, right about now, our gunner got in. He's going to be on this side. The chopper is going to be here, circling around area, around where the attacker should be, continuously. As I would call it, AC-130. He'll be doing his best to shoot down shoot any infantry over at the area. Any tanks or anti-aircraft based stuff could get him shot down and he would be screwed. So yeah. That is that scenario. He'll be screwed, he'll be shot down. Him and his gunner does have the chance to obviously get out, but that's not their goal. So yeah. That gives you an idea about the few scenarios with the transport. So, you do have probably about an understanding about FOBs, loadouts between soldiers, all of that. But I think I might as well show you about the loadout that these soldiers should use. Because they're using an M9, let's take into account it's probably personalized. They are fine to use the Ghost Ring, and I believe it's this sight, maybe the Delta. It's one or the other or both. They're fine to use a sight. Accessories, no. Barrels will break a compensator, they're fine with, but from there, not anything else. So yeah, you should have a decent understanding. Obviously, blah blah blah, you get the point. So yeah, these are that should be your loadout for the pilot. But let's per se say he is a pilot with an SMG. The only SMG that he should technically have is the MP7 or MPX, but both these are technically special forces. The MP7, on the other hand, you might be able to get a bit away with. I kind of doubt it, but if you were lucky, technically. But as I said, you should not even be using the MP7 in the first place. It's a German weapon, plus the factor of it being a special forces weapon, even for Germany, I believe it is. This should not even be used. You gotta remember that. I'm saying that purposely. This should not be used in the first place. Only the M9 should. And again, for your full loadout, M9, repair torch, flare, hand flares, Bowie knife, and yeah, from there, nothing else really. That should be their loadout. If they do not have this, this means that they probably have the wrong loadout, but this should be fine. If they're doing an evac, again, one of them can go support, but that's not the point. Again, if it not evac, resupply. Let me give you an example here. Again, my chopper's about to head to Airbase Alpha. I have ammo onto the side of the chopper for giving to the troops because they need a resupply, because their ammo man and their machine gunner have been shot. Right? Or per se, you're going with a limited ammo supply where they can only resupply so much. Again, this chopper would have to come here for resupply, literally. Then he heals up everybody, gives them ammo, blah blah blah. They're all restocked now. So yeah, but this one also has about the exact same purpose as the last one, where it is also can do scouting missions. On this hand, the scouting mission could technically be done from the side of the chopper with the gunner seat. Spot 'em, shoot 'em, essentially. But this scouting mission could be a 2-man or 3-man scouting mission. So yeah, I doubt it, but it's there to do. So yeah, again, by the end of this, got a lot of understanding between fobs, milsim, blah blah blah. You get it. So yeah. So now they have an understanding. Blah blah blah.